And I can't wait to bring in my co-host of many episodes. All keeps me going, keeps the card ratings and the information flowing. So welcome back again for like his 20th episode now. We have Charles back on. How you doing today, Charles? Charles, I can't hear you. Charles, you look a little bit frozen up. Charles. Charles. Where are you? Charles, you can't abandon me like this. Where are you, Charles? Come on. What's going on? Like, hello. Like, what's Charles? I can't do a show without a co-host. Like, nice smile and all, but I feel like, guys, I don't think Charles is here. And I think I need a moment. I think I really need a moment to face what I might have to do today.
There goes my heart, they're gone forever, so far apart, but only the lonely know why I cry, only the lonely.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Charles, Kidneys, my co-hosts. Is there a hotline? I don't know. I don't know if there's a hotline. But welcome all in to episode number 32 of the HAWC Report. Hound Analysis. Future Legends 3. Welcome all in, guys. Yes, no Charles today. Charles is over in the US gallivanting around. He's probably in Texas somewhere. Kidneys is busy working on his sheet. And catch me later for the code to save 50% on the kidney sheet. So yeah, there will be no TWIP in the Matrix today. No use putting in the Future Legends into the base game because they're not going to have future ratings, or very good ratings in the base game. So TWIP is in the Matrix is on hold, but we will have trivia. Yes. We will have trivia a little bit later on, so get your mind sharpened up. And of course, we will have the bounty. The bounty is back. And I don't know if I can do the bounty on my own. I'm not as that qualified. And let me see if there's someone on the hotline here. Hello, HAWC hotline. Can I have a temp? Do you have a temp available on short notice? No, not him. No, I don't want to work with that person. No. Possibly. That'd be my second choice. Oh, really? Absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, I do not have to go out and buy some more ice cream and sit and eat and wallow away with no co host. Welcome in for today's show, filling in for Charles. You may know him as the voice behind the mic. You may know him as the voice without a camera. You may know him as the guy that carries the show on Fridays on Warbot. Welcome all in, Isidafo. Isidafo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I got a big smile on my face now because having to do this on my own with me rate cards to be like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I could see that playing in some leagues. Yeah, yeah. So
I mean,
thank
you
you.
know, that's pretty much the Friday streams. It just takes us like 7 hours to do that. So
Yeah. Well, I this will not be a 7-hour stream, so don't cancel your dinner plans. You'll be able to get out of here soon enough. But Isidafo, you've been part of the community since I've been part of the community. I've seen your name. I know you run the Florence Baycats in league play. I see you in tournaments all the time. But for those that really don't know you because they don't have 7 hours on a Friday, tell the community a little bit about yourself.
yeah, I mean, like you said, I've been playing since I think since the beta basically. And yeah, I managed the Florence Baycats. Been doing the streams with Charles recently, and yeah, I don't know, I don't know how much else there is to say.
Do you know Cavacom though?
I have seen his streams on occasion. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you've been here a while then.
I was a bit of a lurker for a while, so people probably may not have seen me around as much in the early years of Perfect Team, but since then, yeah, I've been around.
So what was your first? You've been playing Perfect Team right from 19?
Yeah, I played 19. I had no idea what I was doing. My team was terrible, and sort of slowly, yeah, I got more into it and started doing some modeling, and some point along the way got somewhat decent.
Did you play the base game at all, or did you just come into it with Perfect Team?
I used to. I haven't played it in a while, actually. But yeah, I did once upon a time played the base game back in the day where you could abuse the AI pretty badly, which was fun for a bit. But I found PT to be much more fun than the base game was for me. So
yeah, I agree. Like I played the base game since I think version 10 and just played hours and hours and hours. And then when that Perfect Team came along, it's like, base game, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it, the times we've had together, but there's someone new in town and it's a Perfect Team, and it's easily get hooked up on that. So you are from, you told me you're from the New York area, correct?
Yes, living in New York City in Manhattan. So
wow, New
far
York,
away from Denmark.
Long way from Denmark. Geez, New York. So is that like you grew up there? You've been there all your life?
My family's from here. I actually lived I grew up in Minneapolis. We moved there when I was quite young, and I've come back here since graduating high school and college. Actually, the whole family's back here now, basically.
Manhattan. Wow, Ted, you're kind of in EVC's territory, and you're close to Yukarin Kazami and to your kidney. So have you done any meetups with any other OOTP players?
Not yet. I would be happy to do so though if anyone is interested.
Okay. And I have to ask, have you been to the Museum of Ice Cream?
I have not been to the Museum of Ice Cream, I will say. I've been to a lot of other museums, but I have not made it to that one yet.
What? Look at this. This is just looks like you want to grab your spoon and just go to town. Look at all these delicious desserts, pink everywhere. I have no idea how they preserve the ice cream, but did you kind of know where it is? Is it in your neck of the woods?
Looks like it's in kind of the downtown
So
region. Yeah, it's. I mean, I can get there pretty quickly. It's not super close to me, but I can definitely get
all
to there.
right. Did you go? You go on New Year's Eve and watch the ball drop?
No, it's actually I pretty much avoid Times Square at all costs. It's really crowded, and you get harassed by people in Elmo costumes.
Okay, so question is: Mets fan, Yankees fan, or some other team?
Not any team super closely at this point. Actually, I'm kind of just a baseball fan, I would say now.
Oh, okay. So just a fan of the game.
Yeah, more or less. I went. Yeah, growing up in Minneapolis, I went to a lot of Twins games, obviously. So that's certainly the team I've seen the most, I would think. But yeah, just
Okay. And I always ask,
games.
have you ever been to Canada?
I have been to Canada. I went to Canada. I went to Detroit specifically to go to their stadium, and I went into Canada very briefly there, and I visited Toronto a few years back also.
Did the border patrol treat you okay?
Yeah, they didn't rough me up too badly. Growing up in Minneapolis, you get kind of the cold credit, so they treat you nicely.
All right, nice. And so I have to ask you because let's get a little more intimate here. What drives you after 4 years now? What drives you to keep opening up out of the park baseball perfect team? What motivates you to do that? To wake up in the morning and say, I want to see how my teams are doing?
That is an excellent question. I mean, I think there's a couple things. I mean, for one, as much as I've been playing for a long time, there's still a lot I feel like I don't understand about the game, and I'd like to. As far as just disagreeing with Charles, exactly. I'll do my best here to expound on the virtues of eye and third base defense, but maybe a little questionable. But yeah, I mean, it's I really enjoy a lot of the aspects of the game, and there's kind of there's always new rosters to build, new formats, new cards, and lot to do always.
And what would you say is your crowning achievement in Perfect Team over the last 4 years? Is there something for you that stands out the most?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, I this is kind of a bit of an off the wall one that I don't know how many people even are paying attention to, but last year there were only 2 leaderboards. There's dailies and weekly tournament leaderboards. And 1 week I won them both. And I think that was probably the most unlikely of the things I've done that's happened. Yeah, I should have brought I have a few PT Perfect League titles. They're in the other room. I should have brought them.
What?
A good idea.
Okay, well, next break.
Yeah.
Next break, you go grab them because I want to see someone raise that above their head. Does it have a little cup in where you can put a beverage and sip out of it like the Stanley Cup?
Sadly not. It's kind of flat on the top. So I could try to put something on there, and I don't know how it would work.
Come on, OOTP, put a little beverage holder on the top so that we can pretend we're sipping out of something here to celebrate. And Isidafo, by the way, if you did not know, it wasn't this pop-up. It was the first pop-up that Isidafo won. The 256 team defensive era, Dave Steeb, he used on his team and used him pretty successfully, right? When you won that tournament?
I certainly did. I pulled him, I think, the day of the pop-up and then played him. And well, I got a lot of luck in that tournament, but he was quite good.
All right. And your MVP, though, of the series was not MVP. Who did you tell me your MVP was?
Oh, Valenzuela had like a 1 ERA and 10 starts or something. It was very silly.
1 ERA. Wow. Yeah, I think he went 8-0. So I did the little recap on that. And
it was sort of strange, actually. I mean, Brett Saberhagen was the best starter in that format by a lot. And I lost 5 games the whole tournament, and he lost 4 of them. So...
Well, it's pretty impressive because that's 256 teams. What's that, like 7 rounds or something like that?
Yeah, 8 rounds. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of luck because kind of once you start winning, you get more rest than everyone, and you get a nice advantage.
All right, we are back. And before we get going, I believe you have something you can show the audience here.
Yeah, I got a few things here. So I don't know if I can hold them all at once, but
One at a time. We got time. We got 6.5 hours.
This is the. Oh, is it showing up? Well, this is the. There you go. This is the PT23 version. Lucky enough to get 2 of those, and then see the PT24 one's very nice, translucent green kind of thing. So yeah, pretty cool. They're very nice trophies. I don't think they show up as well on stream as they do in person.
Let's see the more recent one again.
Oh yeah.
Like hold it right up to the
There
camera.
we go. Is that good?
Does it show your name on there somewhere?
Yep. It's probably backwards because the camera's getting near it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It's been like, OOTP, you couldn't even spell it properly? Oh no.
Yeah, you spelled everything backwards. What's the matter?
Looks pretty heavy. Looks like it's pretty heavy.
It's not that bad. It's a little it's a little heft, but yeah, they're quite nice actually. They're well made and they look good. So.
And that was from this year or last year?
That one was from this year.
You went like a month ago, right?
Yeah, it was about a month ago, maybe a little longer now.
They ship those out pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah, they're pretty fast. It's usually like a week or two, and they send them right to you. And yeah.
We have a lurker. Lurker alert. Charles is in the chat. Hi, Charles.
We should have known that Charles would be watching because you need to have eye to watch. And
we miss you, Charles. We miss you. Hope you're having fun in the United States. Hope you're touring around, enjoying some ice cream at all the establishments.
Absolutely. Yes. Hopefully you're back soon because
seen a few questions here about the tournament. GT Sundown, I agree. I think the format worked really good today. You did have to have some luck. Unfortunately, some people did not get any catchers, which is a shame because you would think there'd be at least 1 or 2. I don't know if you missed out some early on or if you didn't check them all, but yeah, it's a shame if you didn't get any catchers. Hopefully, either the gym unknown or the person they put in a catcher will help you out. The other question I saw was two-way players. If you're playing a two-way player, they have to meet both qualifications. If you're using them as a pitcher, they have to have under 70 hold runner.
Wow.
If you're using them as a hitter, they have to have over stealing. So you might have to change them to a one-way if they don't meet qualifications because we're strict here. We're not going to give out packs unless you meet the rules, and we better meet the rules before the person comes in. Let me exit out first because otherwise it might not save it. And let's go back in. Where is it here? The rocking chair has just fired off. So now any changes you make, submit it, and they should save. If you made changes like a minute ago and you're still in the game, you got to go back out because it might not save your changes. Okay, let's double check here in terms of our pitchers, pitching ratings, hold runners. We are good. Everyone's under 70. Okay, next with the hitters, stealing, all above 70. 70 or above, meet the qualifications.
We qualified, and I think we have players that can play every position. So that's we did it. We did a successful draft.
Yes, we did. I was impressed. Pieces fell into place. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. Old runners all the way down, stealing and base running all the way up on our global strategies.
To say it's a little painful for me to turn stealing all the way up because that is one I normally have on never. But
there's a reason why I kind of repicked this draft with you on because I know it pains you a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little painful. It is a little painful.
My other option was you could only draft all infielders with 80 or better defense. That might have pained you a little bit too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In anything glaring you see in the lineup here? Do we want to start Ray Chapman?
Yeah, I think we should start Ray Chapman over Edman. We might even want to consider starting Freehand over Palm if he has more arm. I don't know which one has more arm.
What do we got? We got a 58 arm for Freehand, and Palm has a 81.
All right, let's go with Palm then.
Okay. And against the righties, we want Chapman. Chapman's our best BABIP guy. Wow.
Yeah, he's a very good defender, so that seems like a good card.
Yeah,
for this.
that works out. Okay, so I think that's the only change we want to make. Backing up, we're going to have Edmund. Now we got Edmund at 3 positions. Maybe we'll throw Rojas there. And
Edmund could also play somewhere else. Maybe Edmund can play. Maybe Edmund DHs actually.
DH?
Probably better DH than Freeman, I would guess.
Let's see. Pair play.
His bat is pretty bad. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think Freeman's the choice there for DH.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, good. Looks good. Palm, Freeman. Freeman back up there. And
okay,
say Freeman.
There is one other tip for this that I think people should do. Which I guess let's finish the Jeff charts we can get to.
Waiting with bated breath.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you go to strategy, and then to player strategy, behind that's why. And then maybe try dragging Chapman over. I think he might have what I'm talking about. We'll see. Nope, he doesn't. All right. Well, anyways, maybe it's not a good deal. But the AI when you draft a perfect draft, it kind of sets these sliders sometimes. I don't know quite why, but yeah, there's an example. But usually you don't really want these because it screws with what you actually intend your team to do. So there's up there and under actions.
Up where?
Actions in the top right. There's a clear all player strategies button, which I usually hit.
I did not. Thank you for that tip.
Absolutely.
Wow. Excellent. Yeah. So they all go back to.
Now you do have to be careful if you have a two-way player because it will undo that also. So you have to go back in and make your two-way players two-way again. But
it doesn't put them as a pinch hitter available if tired, does it?
No, that's still controlled by that global global one. Yeah.
All right. How about for our pitchers? Do we want to make any adjustments here? Richard, Johnson, Bundy, Gonzalez, and Bowery. Maybe move Bowery up a bit.
My guess is Bundy is our 5th starter, and probably Gonzalez is our 3rd starter.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe even Walter Johnson should go down a bit.
To number 4?
Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah,
How about the bullpen?
Bullpen looks fine. It doesn't matter too much, probably.
All right, let's find out who's matching up in the first round. We've got the Fussmucker Devils up against Fanatics from New York. Maybe some synchronicity here, some New York luck with Isidafo in the chat. We got the Bowlers run by K. Carlton Lassiter. They are going up against the Rocketchaws by Underdog. We've got Ezra's Starfleet Red Shirts going up against Fire and Oars, Blue Hornets. And then we're playing for the 3rd bounty in a row. You're a math guy. 16-team tournament and 3 bounties in a row. I go up against Dick Shots. What are the odds, Isidafo?
1 in 15 cubed, which I guess is about 1 in 2,500, maybe something like that.
1 in 2,500.
Probably less, actually. Probably a little less.
Wow. Maybe when I open packs later, we'll have a better odds of pulling an Immortal or something. But that's amazing that I've come up against D Block Dragon's team 3 times in a row now in bounties, and he's won 2 of the 3. So I'm blaming you if we lose today. Okay,
all right.
let's check out if his team qualifies first of all. Dick shot. There we go. Actually, easier if I do it this way. Hold runners. All pitchers qualify. He has a lot of pitchers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 13 pitchers
Well,
he's going.
so it looks like his strategy was to draft a lot of live pitchers and try to get historical batters instead.
Yeah.
Which is definitely
That's
a way to
kind of
go.
what I do too. So I get that strategy because I kind of do that. Speed wise, stealing. There we go. Yeah.
Yep, that looks good. Yeah, also
He
with
got
freehand.
Freehan. Yeah, he got Freehan and he got Fred Carroll. So there are some catchers out there.
That
Yeah.
live Joey Gallo is 70 stealing. That's like the best card in the format. Then this card is amazing for a live.
Yeah, that works well in this. Talk about getting some lucky pulls there. And he took a gamble here, taken in his diamond round, this Carroll card, because if he didn't, he may not. I don't know, D Block Dragon. Did you have any other catchers that would have qualified?
This is a risk. Getting one catcher is tough.
But it did pay off. So I think that we're up against a pretty good team. We got to get to their live pitchers, I think.
Oh, that's true. He does have Albert Melton. Albert Melton plays all 8 positions, actually.
Oh, does he? Oh, Melton. Oh, yes. He got some really good choices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So we go up against them. And on the other side of the bracket, we have Monterey Dawn going up against Yellow Jackets, Crackers. We got the Montreal Tiger Cats going up against the Wood Ducks, run by Timland or Popstongoria. We've got the Exploding Whales, Frank Nero, going up against Council Bluff, Crash SF Giants. And then finally, we have Sean's Washington Park Rangers going up against Milford Maniacs, Maddie Steels. So D Block Dragon has the first shot, and then it's either going to be the Hornets or Ezra's Red Shirts. And I think, Ezra, you had the opportunity second round last tournament too. This is like deja vu, seeing a lot of the same teams in the same positions there. Okay. Are you entered in the pop-up tonight?
I think it's tomorrow, actually.
Is it tomorrow? I thought it was Thursday.
It was supposed. Well, it's been Thursday in the past. It was supposed to coincide with Game 6 of the World Series, but of course, Game 6 of the World Series is not happening. So okay. It's it's a cool idea actually to make one of them in Chase Field, one of them in Globe Life. That was sort of interesting to see how they play.
I agree. I mean, the OOTP development teams are so creative with their tournaments this year compared to last year. Like last year, we saw some of the funny names for tournaments, but this year we're seeing so much variety in terms of the type of tournaments, especially for perfect drafts, because I'm more of a perfect draft person. But let's how much time do we have before that first one fires off? We got about 5 minutes. So here's your 5-minute warning. If you're in the tournament, please double check that you met the requirements if you're taking the deal. Because again, sometimes when you submit, things can go wonky. Bench players that don't qualify or put them on the reserve roster. Once we're knocked out, then you can do whatever you want with your team. All right, Isidafo, question for you. Now that I've got you here, you play a lot of tournaments. I mean, not just perfect drafts, but your jam is the kind of the traditional tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You get to program, you get to create a tournament. What type of tournament is OOTP missing that you think is something that would be a good format to use? I mean, we got a lot of caps, we got a lot of, gold, bronze, and all that, but is there a specific format that you think OOTP is missing? And Nicolino, if you're listening, maybe
that's an interesting question. I mean, one thing I think would be really cool is this really kind of a big ask, I guess. I don't know if you ever played the card game Magic: The Gathering.
Yeah. My son did. I never played it, but I'm familiar with it.
Sealed or draft tournaments in the style of Magic: The Gathering would be amazing. That sounds very, very interesting. Like, you pay 50,000 points, or maybe like 25,000 points, you get 25 packs to open. You get to build a roster with them. You keep the cards, something like that. Or some kind of draft thing or cube thing. I mean, there's a lot of options.
Wouldn't that require everyone to be online at the same time doing it?
It depends how you do it. If a sealed thing, it wouldn't, because you could just open the cards. You open your packs, you make a roster, and everyone could do it asynchronously. If it's like a draft thing, probably you need everyone online at once and you have to build infrastructure. So that one's a lot bigger. But a sealed thing sounds very interesting to me.
So for the packs thing, I got my hockey cards here. My packs thing, you open up, say, enough packs to get like 50 cards, and then you pick 26 from those 50.
Yeah, something like that, or even more. I mean, because you do have to make sure that everyone's going to get enough to fill the full roster. So you might need, if everyone's opening, 10 packs, even you get 60 cards, or 15 packs, you get 90 cards. That's probably enough to build a full roster. Now you're going to have to fix the odds probably somewhat, because otherwise you'll get situations where someone gets like 4 perfects and someone gets none, and they won't. It's kind of silly.
The steel one, are you talking about where, let's say I'm up first, I open a pack, and let's say it's a 16-team tournament. There's 16 cards. I take one, and then the other 15 go to the next person, and he takes a remaining one?
Exactly. So you everyone get a pack of 16 cards. You take one, whichever one you like the best, and then you pass it to the person either to the left or right of you, and you sort of alternate directions. And the interesting thing is that you get information about what other people have by what's left over in the packs. Like if there's a lot of catchers left, for example, that kind of everyone's looking for catchers. Or things like that.
So if Charles is in our league, we make sure we leave all the low I and low power guys.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And I guess that could work.
Yeah.
That could work because if you have 16 teams, maybe you cycle through, maybe have 3 sets of packs or 4 sets of packs, and everyone gets card number 1 4 times or whatever, right? Or
I mean, you probably 16 teams is probably going to end up being too much. You probably have to do it with like 8, and then have like 13 packs of 16 or something like that. So you go around you get 2 cards out of each one. I don't know. You could experiment, but
it'd be fun though, because
it would be quite fun.
I mean, you have rivalries, and I do things, and I'd leave Shane Baz for Rob Deere and Headlights. I would take Jody Reed first if Mr. Audit was second pick. Those kind of things. You could have some fun, playing some mind games with people with some of the cards.
Yeah, there's another. I like this idea. I've seen this a few times. This kind of idea for duplicate drafts, where everyone gets the exact same options in each round. You just have to make it so that you could see all the rounds before you started picking, because otherwise people could basically cheat by having their friends tell them, what cards are coming.
Yeah.
But other than that idea seems really cool too.
That would be cool, having everyone gets the same card pool. So like in our draft today, the bounty draft, everyone gets the same selection of cards.
Yeah. And I think, entry fees also have a lot of room for kind of experimentation, because, the ones in the kind of these very basic formats have been, not super highly played. So there's definitely room there to kind of experiment and make some weird formats, or let people define their own formats or whatever.
Yeah, I apologize if I'm freezing up on people. My internet is not great up here in Alberta today, so hopefully it's not too bad. But considering the confinements of the game, and all those sound great, but programming might be a real hassle to do a lot of those things. Considering the parameters we have now, is there anything in terms of maybe a cap tournament, or do you find that the cap numbers are set too high, they're not enough challenge, or too low, they're too challenging? What do you think in terms of a perfect cap tournament that they could have?
So, I mean, kind of the way that a lot of people have kind of tried to conceptualize caps is with this cap number. So for those who don't know, that it's kind of just the number of cards at the ceiling that you can fit in to a roster. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, the cap setting has improved as the cycle's gone on. Like early in the cycle, cap numbers are really high. They were often like 15 or 20, and then it's kind of not a cap anymore because you can just fit in every card you want. I really like the short ones, the really, really short ones. Like we were kind of spitballing an idea on the stream last week with Charles for a low iron, iron floor with a total cap of 1045, which is 5 points. So you get 5 points to spend total. And everything else is 40s. And it's not so easy actually to figure out like how to spend these 5 points.
All right.
It would probably be solved pretty fast, but it'd be interesting for a few goes.
What is the flex tournament? What is the tournament that you guys, when you play and you win it, you do the most bragging? Is there one specific one?
I don't know that there's a specific format. I mean, the ones that I like the most are when you can it's very different than other stuff, and you can kind of find cards that are not obviously good or don't play other places. So some of the labs are really interesting for that because there's some weird cards that you'll never play anywhere else. But I think, any kind of tighter cap is usually the ones that I think are more skill testing in general.
Okay.
So something
All
like,
right. Well, we do have a tournament refresh coming up on Monday. Spore talked about that today with including some draft tournaments too. So we'll see how those goes. But there's nothing in terms of the format we're using now, either for a perfect draft, a style that you like to see, or for a traditional tournament. There's nothing pressing that you think the game needs right now.
I mean, we lost our low bronze. It'd be good to get a low bronze back. Low bronze is a pretty interesting format because it's kind of a mix between iron is very different from every other format because the cards are really extreme, and low bronze is kind of a mix between like bronze, which is a much more normal kind of a format, and iron, which is its own sort of separate thing. So getting one of those back would be kind of nice. I think just more caps in general. We've kind of gone away from caps because it seemed like they were struggling to fill, and it would be good to get them back and figure out a way to get them to fill, I think.
How about a tournament like set in 1876?
So we had one of those last year, and it was really kind of interesting because there was like 15 errors a game until people figured out that like the most important rating on every card was the error rating. The problem is that this year PBABIP, I think, kind of ruins 1876 because all you're going to care about is how much PBABIP your pitchers have, because strikeouts and walks and home runs don't happen. So you're just going to be sorting by PBABIP and putting those guys in, and it makes it pretty uninteresting probably. But I mean, I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to try something like from way, way early in history. All right, we are coming up on a break here, Isidafo. Game 1 of the bounty is in, and already, we're one game up. A 3-hitter by our team,
right.
5-0 over
How
Dick
many stolen bases and caught stealings is really the question.
Let's find out. Stolen bases, 3 and 2 caught stealing for us, and just 1 stolen base, Cupid Childs for them.
Okay, 3 out of 5 is a lot better than I would have thought. That's
there you go. We are testing the new meta. That's what we're doing here. We're testing. All right. We'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. Trivia will be coming up a little bit later as well, but we're going to start talking about some of the cards and going through some beginner tips. And the first thing we're going to focus on is, hey, you don't have the Immortals? Not to worry. Isidafo is going to give you some bargain basement cards that he thinks can help improve your game. Stay tuned. Back in 2 minutes.
Well, that's a lot of stolen bases.
All right. We are back. And I had to bring up this box score because as I was showing on the screen during the break, the stolen base to the caught stealing ratio is about 2 to 1. About twice as many successful stolen bases as caught stealing. And the Washington Park Rangers, in their game 1, Cupid Childs stole 4 bases in that game.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, 2 to 1 is pretty decent. 2 to 1's only slightly negative, so that's better than I would have thought it would be, actually.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought at very least it would be even. So either there's a lot of good catchers with good catcher arm, or we're finding something new. But 4 stolen bases.
Maybe it's that hold runner slider is sort of counteracting the stolen base slider more than I thought it would.
Yeah. And Richard did fantastic for us, going 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. So good call on the JR Richard there. And yeah, we'll see in a few seconds if we advance to round number
right.
2. Before we look at any cards, we're just going to let it sim here and find out if we have a new opponent. So do you play a lot of perfect drafts?
Yes, I do play them pretty regularly. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a favorite perfect draft format that you're going in? Do you like the 256, the one, whatever it is?
For the most part, my favorite one is whichever one's going to fire the soonest. I just don't like waiting. I mean, obviously, if I can get in the 128s and the 256s to qualify for weekly PTCS, I prefer to do that. It's just easier to score points, easier to win rewards.
Right.
But yeah, it's just whatever's available, really.
Do you play the quicks at all?
No, I do not play the quicks.
No. You don't go for the standard packs. You're going for the big money, the big packs.
Well, really, I'm going for PTCS qualification, in all honesty.
Right,
I don't even care so much about the rewards from the drafts.
Right. Okay. Well, game 2 is in the book, so let's go check that out quick, and then we're going to go on to our beginner section. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to pick up some pointers there. And it looks like it does this to me sometimes. It shows as the next sim is in, but when I go into it, it doesn't show the sim. So sometimes I have to do it a couple times. All right, let's check it out. It is 1-1. We lose 7-6.
Ooh, what a game. Wow.
Ooh. 4 runs in the 8th inning for us, but it is not enough. Base running, Otis Nixon, 4 stolen bases for Dick Shot.
Wow, they were 7 for 7. That's amazing.
Yeah. Holy smokes. Cupid Childs with 3, so it looks like he's a really good base runner for us. We had 1 caught stealing, 1 error. So Gonzalez takes the loss, Alexander with the win. Wow, 4 stolen bases. Let's take a look at, after 2 games, the leaderboard for stolen bases. Cupid Child was 6. Brock, Childs, and Nixon. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the lesson from this mostly is that the hold runner slider is way more important than I thought it was.
There you go. I'm glad I taught you something today, Isidafo. I'm glad we have our own little sandbox here.
Yeah, I know. I don't know that I ever touched that slider, really. So that's interesting.
So based on that, if this continues, what kind of recommendation would you make with the hold runner slider to bring it up?
In all honesty, I wonder if the right answer is actually to bring it down like 1 or 2 ticks, because normally in most tournaments, you actually want people to try to steal against you. Almost no players steal successfully, and a lot of people don't set their sliders to stop them. So I wonder actually the right thing to do is like 1 or 2 ticks down from the middle. But you have to experiment a bit.
Yeah, a wise man once said, you have to test the cards.
Exactly.
And that's what we're doing here. Okay, let's go back to our main screen here and move on with the rest of the program. We'll check back on the bounty a little bit later. Okay. Where are we here? Okay, our beginner section. Usually Charles and I, or Kidneys and I, when I did this with Kidneys, kind of gave out a few beginner's tips, and sometimes they're short segments, but because you're kind of a new voice, a new perspective, I wanted a little bit longer segment for the beginner section, talking about, let's face it, there's a sale going on with OOTP, the World Series hype. There may be people out there that are just getting into the game now. And whatever your opinion is of any aspect of the game, there are new people that join all the time. And I like to try and give some advice, some tips, so that it's not too overwhelming that they quit after a week. We know there's a lot of meta cards out there. We know there's a lot of cards that are the best cards for their position. And I'm only talking league play. Let's forget tournaments right now.
Sure.
No tournaments. I know Charles likes tournaments a lot, but let's go with league play, because I think a lot of people, when they start, are going to get involved in league play. Now, when we look at position by position, Ivan Rodriguez that came out, Pudge, many people would say that he's probably the catcher, the meta catcher, the meta catcher for league play.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's expensive. He's unless you was he a top? Yeah, he's a topper. So he's going to be pricey to get. New people that are mainly free to play, they can't afford it right out of the gate. They can't. So what are some bargain catchers you would suggest that can help a team progress from stone to iron to bronze and maybe even touching the diamond league? Is there anything maybe under 100,000 that you would suggest?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think before I start suggesting individual cards, I think the thing to keep in mind whenever you're buying league cards is when you buy league cards, you're not going to make money back off of them. League cards do not make you points. League cards are basically you're giving away points to do better in league, and you will not recoup those points. They're just kind of gone. So be careful when you're buying league cards. If you're not close enough to moving up a level or competing, you're kind of throwing your points away.
Right.
So patience, definitely the biggest virtue here.
I mean, for myself, I'm trying to give myself the beginner mentality. We all want to win. We all want to do the best that we can. That's the competitive nature of human beings. But I'm okay doing the best with what I have and realizing that I am not going to get Hank Aaron. I'm simply not, unless a better card comes along and his price drops dramatically. I'm probably not going to get him. I'm probably not going to make Perfect League without some luck and some good pack pulling. And as a new player, you're right. If you're investing in a card that's not the meta, that's not the top card, you're not going to make your money back because the price of that card is going to continue to go down in value as the game goes on. But let's say just from I want to get better now for a short term, what can I do?
Yeah, so I think most of the time the cards fall into two categories. Like you said, it's either cards that used to be in the meta and have fallen out of the meta, and so people sell them a lot, or it's new cards that didn't quite make the meta when they were released, but have been in spotlights 2 or 3 times, and the price has dropped a lot because of that. So at catcher, it's more of the first option. Gary Carter, actually, I think is still a card that's a little bit over 100K, but not that far. He's actually in the meta.
Maybe I'll get you to share your screen and I'll go back and forth.
Oh, sure.
Kind of between the card I show and the card that you show.
Hold on a second. Window. All right, here we go. Just do this. So this card, Gary Carter, is a little over 100K, but this card is actually still in the meta at the top level, goes towards some nice missions. It's a little more expensive, but it'll last a bit longer. If you're looking for something cheaper, it's probably this top Johnny Bench. You can maybe even build for less in the mission at this point. I don't know exactly how much that costs, but he's not useful for any missions or Immortals Roger Bresnahan, who is probably what I would recommend at this price, actually, since he's dropped so much with the new Immortal packs in the shop. Again, some good mission value and a very solid card.
Okay. And as we go along, there's the splittiness too, and I know platooning is a huge deal the further you get up in levels. So, I mean, feel free to say, this guy versus left, this guy versus right. If you can afford 2 catchers, is there any position where it's not wise to platoon as best as you can, or does it just depend on the cards?
It really depends on the cards and on your budget, because sometimes you're better off just if there's one card that's really good, you're just better off buying it instead of buying both halves of platoon. Sometimes a card is just way better than everything else, and you kind of have to own it. It really depends, yeah. Okay,
let's move on to first base. First base, man, this Brothers card, when I first saw it, is just like, whoa, that's the most blue I think we've ever seen. And he looks like a dominant meta first base DH kind of guy that you could use. But again, he is this a packable? I think it's a packable, right?
The Brothers? No, this is the dead ball topper.
Okay.
This card is phenomenal. This is the best first baseman by a ton. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Okay. And again, there are a lot of first basemen that have come that used to be meta that might be cheap now, that maybe, you can, show on yours. There's again the Dan Brothers. Who is the bargain baseman option at first base.
So this is a place I would actually be looking for a platoon. This Diamond Norm Cash was actually before Browder's kind of the best first baseman in league VR. It's actually probably a slightly better card even than the 100 Lou Gehrig now. So this is the VR half of the platoon, and then for the VL half, I'd be looking at this Dick Allen probably, who hits really well versus.
And Bailey mentions the Johnny Mize. I think Johnny Mize is a really good cheap option as
yeah,
well. I think
Johnny Mize is very cheap. He's unfortunately not that good, so it's probably not a card I would ever recommend playing.
He might get you to where gold, maybe gold league.
I don't even know that he hits all that well there. I would probably, in all honesty, prefer to buy a card like this Gold Joey Votto to Mize to save the 18K. If you're just looking for a stopgap, this will hit righties very well.
All right. So brothers, and then we've got Dick Allen. And what about, I mean, the Albert Pujols, has that come down in price, the tournament one, or is he still pretty pricey?
Well, not that one. This one's pretty pricey, but this one's still a bit pricey. The thing is that this is kind of the only good tournament 100 left. This is still in the meta, and yeah, it's a little pricey. I wouldn't recommend going out and buying this one unless you already have everything else.
All right, let's move to the infield. When this card came out, I was streaming, and someone put it up for 500,000, and was like, you know, as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought, I think this is the best second baseman in the game that can play two ways. And if I would have had 500,000 perfect points, it was probably a little pricey. I think a couple did sell for about 250,000. But because he's part of the Hank Aaron mission now, his price is way up there. I think he's the meta second baseman. What do you think, and what options do we have for someone that wants something a little cheaper?
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely the meta second baseman. It doesn't look that much better than Joe Sewell because it's kind of the same profile and everything's the same color, but actually these few points of eye and power and BABIP make an enormous difference. The card's quite a lot better than Joe Sewell is at second base.
Okay.
I would look for other options. This Nelly Fox, who also plays in diamond tournaments, a lot of defense. This is a card I'd be looking at. He can play both ways too. The other card, which we'll also talk about at shortstop, is this Monty Ward. Even pitch actually, if you're kind of looking for even more utility.
What's he going for right now?
Yeah, about 80K.
How about the Jackie R? Is he still a viable option?
He's a bit behind. He's a little cheaper, but I think I would much rather pay 20K and get Ward, especially with the ability to play shortstop, which is very useful, and to pitch even.
All right. Moving to third base. At third base, in my opinion, when the Brett card came out, platooning, especially versus the righties, he was the best third baseman you could use. I think there might be a few other options when you're platooning. We've got the Troy Glaus Immortal card that came out. Maybe you pair him with George Brett. I don't know. Would you consider these two the meta third baseman, or are there others?
No, Gloss Brett platoon is the meta third base. They're both the best by a lot. It's really not. You don't have another option at the top level.
Who would you recommend a cheaper option that can play both ways at third? Is there one?
So I think a couple cards. Again, these are kind of cards that fall in the category of older ones that have fallen out of the meta a little bit. There's this Alex Rodriguez. Cost about 80K. He can play shortstop. I wouldn't really recommend at this point. There's too much defense at shortstop, and he's just not going to be good enough there. So this is a third baseman for me. And the other option, I think, is Mike Schmidt. Yeah, we'll talk about. There's some positions where I think you can get away with like very, very cheap stuff, and we'll get to one of those in a second. Some people's comments, but
okay. So yeah, and Schmidt when he came out again was high level. Rodriguez when he came out, high level meta, very pricey, and you know they held in there quite a bit, just like Lou. Lou held in there quite a bit, and Jackie held in there for a long time. Second base might have been the one position that held the most ground for a player early on. So third base, Schmidt. Who's the other one you mentioned?
A-Rod.
Rodriguez. A-Rod. Okay. Shortstop. You mentioned Joe Sewell. as possibly Cupid Child's Light kind of card at second base. But in terms of others, meta shortstop, is it Sewell or is it Glasscock? Is it
It's a Sewell Yount platoon, I think, unless you own Phil Rizzuto. But Phil Rizzuto is 8 copies, so that's kind of not if you have one, you're playing it. But yeah,
so you're platooning these 2 cards, Sewell and Yount.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. And other options for newer players that looking for something a little cheaper?
Yeah, so we talked about Monty Ward. You can certainly play him at shortstop, as well as second base. He works just as well there. A few other options. There's this Jack Glasscock you mentioned, who's down to about 50K. And again, a really, really good Diamond Tournament card. And this was kind of very briefly a top shortstop option for like 3 days. This is a position where there is a very cheap option that is kind of reasonable, which is this Rafael Furcal, who costs basically nothing. Because this is in a mission where you have to lock 1 live gold and 1 live silver, and you get him, and some other stuff too that is not very useful. But yeah, if you're kind of looking for a super budget option, this one is a pretty good place to save some points.
Yeah, and I think the point is, I'm seeing some comments in chats that some of the better options are immortals. Again, it's tough to kind of gauge. We could go even lower in price. We could pick the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th best option for cards. But if I was a new player, I'm not looking to get all the cards right away. I'm maybe buying 1 this week, saving up perfect points, getting another 1 next week, opening packs, selling those for perfect points. I'm building over time. But for me to build over time with the best cards, I'm not going to get that done. I'll get maybe by the end of the cycle 4 or 5 of them, and by then they'll be not the meta cards. So we're looking for, when I approached Isidafo about this, I said cards that are 100,000 or less. I know it's still a lot. I know it is for new players, but maybe something that they could save up to that are still going to have some relevance by the time they get them 3, 4, 5 weeks down the line. So by the time they might be able to save up for the Monty Ward, 3 weeks down the line, he might have dropped from being the 3rd best option to the 5th best option or 6th best option. But it's still better than getting that 3,000 card that is now the 12th best option. I guess, like I said, it's hard to pick an actual number for cards. I'm just looking for cheaper cards than what the meta are right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is at least the way that that I was kind of thinking about is like, if you're someone who wants to kind of be in Diamond and stay there, this is the kind of team probably you're looking to play. Something with a lot of the cards that I've shown. I mean, again, you can find cards that cost 3K and play in gold, but or silver, but they're kind of a lot of the time you should just play what you have and not worry about buying cards to play for League. Really, I wouldn't recommend buying cards for League until you're kind of thinking about trying to be in Diamond.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just playing for fun and you enjoy being in bronze or silver, then absolutely, yeah, go cheaper and get some of those other options. But again, I wanted to try and what do you need to at least touch Diamond? And as weeks go on and new cards come out, it's tougher to get to Diamond because more and more people have these meta or these second best meta cards. And so then you're going to stay in iron or bronze or silver or whatever it might be. And that's fine if that's the game you want to play. But I asked Isidafo, if we want to try and touch Diamond, what kind of cards are we looking as necessary to touch the Diamond League?
Yeah. And I mean, I think the other thing is like, I'm recommending a lot of cards. You don't need to buy all of these cards, right? These are just like the cards that if you have some points, these are the ones to look at because they're the ones that actually give you some reasonable value for the points you're spending. It doesn't mean you need to buy all of them. It means that like, if you get 100K, these are the kind of cards that maybe you should think about buying if you want to compete in League.
Yeah, and you can get to Diamond with maybe 5 or 6 of these cards, or maybe 10 of these cards. We're not saying you need all of them to get to Diamond because many of you are in Diamond and you don't have all of these cards. And there's still your strategies and your sliders and your ballpark that come into play as well. But it's hard to find the perfect formula to pick out the perfect cards that are cheap and yet good. It's tough to do that. So we're going with kind of the second, third, fourth, fifth best meta. That's kind of the criteria we're looking at. And before we go on, we do have a bounty result. Congratulations, going 3 for 3 this week. The Dick Shots have knocked us out, Isidafo.
Oh, well, we tried.
8-6.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, knocking us out. Otis Nixon, was phenomenal for them. 6 stolen bases.
Yeah,
Childs with 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Hank Barrow, we did not that was not a successful pick.
No, 1 2/3 inning, 5 earned runs. Yeah, we Pip had 2 stolen bases, but again, we were under the gun right with our first pick, kind of forced to take a pitcher, which he only plays 1 game, so it's tough, these tournaments.
Yeah.
Congratulations, D Block. O's Bones, another victory. So now from this point on, you guys are playing for in-game packs. So if you want to put in any players that you want, if you want to adjust your sliders, feel free. If you want to stay the same and see what it looks like at the end of the tournament, feel free to do that too.
So Brent's point, I'm only mentioning a couple of cards each position. If you're in your Kidneys Discord, there's kind of a longer list. I don't think there's time to go through 7 cards per position here, or whatever it would be.
Too many. Yeah, too many. Yeah. Again, we're trying to give some advice for people that have no clue about what meta is and what kind of cards they should be looking for. Because again, the meta, the best cards at each position are unobtainable for many, 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 many people. We're trying to give them a carrot that they can try to obtain around that 100,000 or less. If Isidafo has cards for 5,000, like the Furcal card, absolutely. Why spend 100,000 when you can get a card almost as good for 5,000? So he'll point those out as well. Okay, Hank Aaron came out, meta left fielder, a lot of blue. Dishnet teased it before it was released. He's going to be probably in there till the end game. You could probably use him somewhere, even if a better left fielder comes out. I think Ricky Henderson was maybe one of the go-to guys. What are you thinking for the left field position?
I mean, so right now this is definitely the best left fielder, but it's sort of only left fielder at the moment because Clemente only plays right, which means Kalen has to play center, and then this has to play left because there's no positions left. Where this lasts, I don't know. How long this lasts VR, I don't know. VL, it should last for some time.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you right there because we did have an ad break just kick in. So when we get back, we're gonna finish off with Hank, and then we're gonna play some trivia. So back in 2 minutes, guys.
And I can actually even play the trivia. I don't know the answers.
Yeah. All right, we're back. We are back. Canadian and a New Yorker. Going through the HAWC Report today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Weekend's almost here. And we left off talking about Hank Aaron, the topper for all the toppers, where you need, I think, nine different cards. And very good to look at. One of my favorite cards from last year is Isidafo, because he played from the beginning right until late in the game somewhere. And
he had a very long lifespan.
It was a very nice live topper mission that had a lot of people able to get him, maybe after the first month especially. And it was a fun card to play. I think he's played probably like 3,000 games, 4,000 games for me. So what do you see as options at left field that maybe under 100,000?
So I probably outfield. Maybe it's best to kind of talk about all together because a lot of these cards can play a bunch of different positions.
Okay.
So I think, for one option for left field is this Mickey Mantle card that probably actually a lot of people already have. This one's pretty cheap and also relatively easy to get from the lineup missions at this point. yeah, can play really left or right, I think, and pretty solid both ways.
Okay. So before you go into the one, since we're doing all the outfield, and then we'll play trivia, and then we'll come back and talk about some of the pitchers. Also in the outfield, again, if you have all the immortals, you're easily going to make it to diamond and probably even perfect. I know some of the perfect teams have the PTMS cards and PTCS cards that, again, are unattainable for a lot of people. The LEs might be helping some teams, but if you have a full immortal team with the best immortal cards, you're golden all the way, probably up till perfect.
Yeah, so we're kind of at the point right now where if you have full immortals, that's sort of the baseline perfect team. And actually, at the moment, there isn't that much that's better. It's a couple PTCS, PTMS cards, and it's kind of it.
Okay.
So
we got LK
really,
line and Roberto Clemente. In my opinion, K-Line, Clemente, first guy we mentioned, Hank Aaron, maybe this Tip O'Neill card as a DH outfielder. To me, those are probably the 4 meta outfield right now. Agree or disagree?
I mean, the kind of the meta outfield is Aaron, K-Line, Clemente from left to right. There is this Dylan Cruz card, which you mentioned, PTCS cards. This card is still quite good. And would make the roster certainly if you own it. That's kind of the meta in the outfield. Tip O'Neill is a DH for most people. He's just not good enough defender, really.
Okay. Now options.
Yeah, so we talked about Mantle. There's this Kirby Puckett card. This is kind of a different one because this one never really played in the meta. It was a little bit below, and it's just gotten cheap because it isn't, never really played in the meta. There's a card like this, Fred Lynn. You have to platoon this, and you have to train it in left and right, but it's very good VR. There's Orator Schaefer, also pretty cheap, only plays right field. But pretty decent. Let's see what else is there. There's this 96 Giancarlo Stanton, who again very cheap, makes a good platoon option with Lynn in the corners, hits really well VL. Kind of have to hide his VR, but the VL is nice. Let's see, Eric Davis I think is still pretty cheap. Yeah, this is a good center fielder, left fielder. You can even play this both ways if you have to, but I'd rather platoon. And I guess maybe the last one is not this Clemente, who's in the meta and pretty expensive, but this Diamond Clemente VL, which has a quite nice bat VL. And again, you have to hide the VR a little bit, but platoon is pretty okay there.
All right. And for DH, is it just kind of the leftover outfielder that you're using, or is it a Pujols? Is it
not
Ken
exactly?
Williams?
There's this David Ortiz, I think, is a card you could look at for DH VR. His defense is really bad, so I prefer Cash at first, but the bats are pretty similar. And then maybe as a VLDH, there's this Roy Parnell, who's kind of been around for a while and very BABIP-y, or a card like this Jose Altuve, who's a terrible second baseman, but because he's gotten relatively cheap, a pretty good DH VL.
Yeah. Okay. And again, when I approached Isidafo, I said, let's focus on league play because, again, I'm looking from my perspective, and tournaments are great, but to me, aren't you playing tournaments to get better cards for league play? Isn't that the purpose of playing tournaments, to improve your chances at getting cards and packs for league play? I know there might be some people out there that are strictly tournaments and that's all they play and they have fun with that, and that's awesome. But for myself, my mentality is I play tournaments to get perfect points or cards to try and make my league team better as the ultimate goal. But,
yeah, that's definitely a reason for a lot of people. I think another nice thing with tournaments is that the league league is pretty restrictive on what cards you can use. Really, only a very, very small sliver of the card pool you can actually think about playing. It's maybe at most 50 or 100 cards. And tournaments open up the entire card pool to have potential to use the cards.
That's true. That's true. Plus theme teams. Theme teams, I mean, especially when they're all pooled together, you're not competing against, the best of the best in terms of cards. So there's more cards available. And you can see how that shakes out against the other theme teams. So theme teams are another great league play option.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's play some trivia. Let's go for some trivia. So you should see, for those of you watching, you should see a little pop-up on the right-hand side showing some instructions for the trivia. We do this every week, and we award the best score and the worst score. So you can play for first or you can play for last. Charles didn't put this one together because, again, he's on the road, want to respect his time. So I've just put together a set of, we're going to do it fairly quickly, 20 questions, just random sports questions. It's not all baseball. It's not to do with Future Legends. It's just see who knows their overall sports trivia the best. Could be from any sport. And also threw in, because we play a video game, there's a few video game questions and a couple, of course, Canadian-based question, maybe even a Dave Steve question towards the end. So let's test your overall knowledge about sports, video games, and Canada. So Isidafo, on your screen, can you see the instruction screen?
I think, yes, I just came up. I'm a touch behind.
Okay.
Did this come up?
Again, you need to allow access to your Twitch name. So if you haven't done that, you go to the far right side, middle of your Twitch screen. There's a little icon that says Quiz Kit. Click that and give permissions to use your Twitch name. And then you should be all set up. Okay. No one knows the questions except myself. You got 15 seconds. The quicker you ring in, the more points you get if you're right, and the more points you get if you're wrong. Okay, let me put up just so people may know we're playing trivia. There we go. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Which nation hosted the FIFA World Cup back in 2006? South Africa, Germany, United Kingdom, or Brazil?
I'm playing along this week, so
all right, you play along. Yes, you were one of our successful winners early when we started this, and this was chosen for a specific user that's had my number a lot in tournaments. And O's Bones, maybe you remember it. O's Bones from Germany. That was the correct answer. Congratulations. Let's see if O's Bones got this right. I don't think O's Bones is playing. Oh, yeah. No, there he is. Don't cut the D block dragon. Yep. He did. Third to ring in. Isidafo? Was that a guess or did you know that?
No,
one?
I knew that one. I did know that
wow.
one.
Wow. Warbots in there. Okay, question number 2. Which car manufacturer won the 2017 24 Hour of Le Mans? Toyota, Chevrolet, Porsche, or Audi? It was not the Warbot special car.
No, I would have gotten it if it were that one, maybe. But
what's he have, a Sentra or something like that?
no idea. No clue on this one for me.
Oh, so here we go. Answer incoming. And it was Porsche.
Okay. See, it's very tricky with this thing. You got to decide very early on whether you're going for first or last.
Exactly, because Rob Deere in Headlights was the quickest to ring in, but he probably wanted to get it wrong.
Right.
Or maybe he didn't. I don't know. Brent with the overall lead after the first couple questions. And at the bottom, it's Tiger Man, who is consistently at the bottom, trying to get the worst score. Okay, question 3. Which professional wrestler fell from the rafters to his death during a live pay-per-view event in 1999? Snow, Benoit, Hart, or Luger? for all the wrestling fans out there. Are you a wrestling fan? Do you watch wrestling?
Not really, but this name sounds familiar. This is a semi guess, so we'll see.
Wow, there are a lot of wrestling fans out there because the majority of people did get this one right. 14 correct responses for Owen Hart. I think he was a part of a brother combination. Was it the Hart brothers? Weren't they from Calgary or Canada? I don't know. I'm not a big wrestling fan. So
Yeah, I don't know. I had heard that name before, and I figured it's worth a shot, so I was lucky.
Rob Deer in Headlights, Fussmucker, and Warbot, the quickest to ring in. All right, moving along. Next question. Number 4. Which team did Michael Schumacher make his Formula One debut at the 1991 Belgian Grand Prix? Ferrari, Benetton, Mercedes, or Jordan? I used to like watching a lot of Formula One because Canada hosted a couple of them.
Yeah, it's been getting really popular now, hasn't it? Like, it seems like it's
Yeah, it's
having
pretty
quite a
quiet.
resurgence.
Yeah. Same with IndyCar racing. That used to be really popular. NASCAR used to be really popular, but you don't hear about, car racing as much.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
One person got this one right. Woo, this was a tough one.
Ooh.
Curious who got this right. Was it someone racing to the top or someone racing to the bottom? Statmonger and Pop Stongoria waited until the very last second and got -7.
All right.
That's tough to do.
That's cutting it close.
Okay. Roar of 1984 rang in very late as well. -7. That's very tough.
Yeah,
Which basketball team has attended the most NBA grand finals? Is it the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, the LA Lakers, or the Philadelphia 76ers? Sixers. Who has attended the most finals? For me, it would come down to 2, and it would just be a guess.
Yep, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Was it Larry Bird's team or Magic Johnson's team?
Well, the Celtics have one more, so I went with them, but I don't know that that's right.
Yep.
And it's not right.
Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, I think by grand finals, they mean just finals, I think. That was an in-app, that was an in-quiz kit question, so I'm going with the quiz kit that they got it right. So Dogberry, Brydav, and Rojo Vancouver, quickest to ring in, and Pop Stongoria and Brydav, first and second overall. Next up, question number 6. Who won the 2015 College Football Playoff National Championship? Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, or Wisconsin? Test your college football knowledge. Boiled egg, I'm with you. As a Canadian, I know very little about college football. University of Calgary.
Somehow I'm not sure they won the college.
Yeah, I don't even think they qualified. It was Ohio State. So those of you that are from Ohio State, go Buckeyes. 7 of you got that one right. Dogberry, Rob Deer in Headlights, and Brydav, top 3. Brydav takes the lead with Warbot, Pop Stongoria, and Rojo.
University of vacated. Yeah, exactly. So many of them are vacated.
Yeah. Okay, next up, question number 7. Which country hosted the 2014 Winter Olympics? US, Russia, Germany, Canada. 10 years ago.
Oh, I'm gonna mix these up. Oh well.
I think this should be an easy one. I think
Oh, no,
it was in what's the name where it was held?
This was the one in Sochi, I'm pretty sure, and then or maybe
Yeah.
yeah. 2010 was Vancouver, 2014 Sochi, 2018 Pyeongchang. Yeah. Okay.
2018 was where, China?
Yeah, Pyeongchang, Korea.
Yeah.
And then
Korea.
2022 was Beijing. I think that's right.
Easy question. Most people got that one. All right, let's head off to question number 8. What is the name of the AHL affiliate, the minor league affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Is it the Marlies, the Wolfpack, the Rock, or the Argonauts? Boiled egg, this one's for you. How well do you know your minor league hockey, Isidafo?
Well, I think I got luck in this one because this is actually a team I had heard of. I know almost none, but I think this one I actually do happen to know.
Oh, wow. And I'm amazed 15 people know their minor league hockey. So I think the Marlies is a pretty easy name to remember.
Yeah, I think it was just about any other one I wouldn't have known it, but
Busmucker, Isidafo, Rojo, Vancouver, Coach Ruffy, quickest to ring in. And Rojo has taken the lead at the top and at the bottom. TTWB Boomsticks is not having a day. Yes, at the bottom there.
Ooh. How much negative?
Minus 105.
Wow, that's a lot.
Which of the following pitchers was named National League Rookie of the Year for the 2013 season? Harvey, Miller, DeGrom, or Fernandez? How confident are you in this one?
Well, it's one of two, I'm pretty sure, because I think Harvey and DeGrom were too late, but I'm not 100% sure of the other two.
Okay.
Oh, no, Harvey's 2013. Oh, no, yeah.
Answers are in. And Bluester.
Oh, okay.
Fernandez.
Was Harvey? Which year was Harvey? I thought he was. Which was the Tommy John year? I don't remember. It's been too long.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping a lot more people play FHM than 15 to get to know these minor league teams. All right, here is the score. Fussmucker, quickest to ring in there, and Warbot now. Man, we're having the lead go back and forth between 4 or 5 different teams. It is close. Next up. What year was hockey legend Wayne Gretzky born? 1963, 61, 65, or 59? Legend Wayne Gretzky. He's older than Isidafo. That's your hint.
Yeah, that's for sure. Don't know how much that one helped me.
He's even older than I am. All right. Answers are in. And 11 people either lucky guess or kind of know the approximate age of Wayne Gretzky, who retired in 1999 with the New York Rangers. Fussmucker, Gold D, and Coach Ruffy. Quickest to ring in there. All right, we're halfway through. So we got 2 more questions, and then we have another ad break kicking in. So I will not show the questions during the ad break. So let's do a couple more here. Question 11. Who is one of the founding members still in the NFL, but now relocated? New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, or Green Bay Packers? So they went by a different name originally.
Well, I think 2 of these teams went by different names. One of them didn't relocate.
Interesting.
I could be wrong. I think the New York Giants were originally the New York Titans.
Wow, 19 out of 25 people got this one right. Amazing. Both teams were in the same city as well, and then one of them moved.
Oh, the Titans, the Jets. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it was Chicago. I forget the original name. They went to Chicago Cardinals, I
Yeah,
think.
Chicago Cardinals for sure.
And then
Yeah.
Chicago Bears was the other one.
Yep. Yeah, the Jets.
All
are
right,
that
last
team.
question before the break. What is the nickname of Northampton Town's rugby union club? The Saints, the Saracens, the Harlequins, or the Wasps?
And
Here's for our European viewers.
Yeah, we're definitely going off the beaten track for this one. That's
Like I said, we're covering all sports here.
that's for sure. I'm
I
missing.
don't know if Andy's still in the chat, if Andy knows this, if he's a rugby fan, but I don't even know any of these teams.
I don't either. I don't think I could name a single rugby team.
Who is the world's best rugby player? Like, do we know?
Someone does. It isn't me. That's for sure.
All right, 6 people got that one right. Fire and Or, Sean Soul, Dogberry, even Warbot, Adam, and Rojo all knew that or lucky guessed on all of them. All right, we're off to our break here, guys. We are back in 2 minutes to finish off the quiz, to talk about some more pitching options for you, and then to look at a few of the new cards that were released today. And then we'll end it off with a 9-inning game, this time between myself and Isidafo. Back in 2 minutes' time. All right, we are back here to finish off the trivia. We got a barn burner going on between a few teams here at the top and at the bottom. And we left off on question 12. So we should be getting to our video game questions. So maybe that's going to change the leaderboard around a little bit.
We're really going up all over the place.
We are. Baseball, video games, and Canada. Those are the 3 things that are going on in this stream. Next question. Get your fingers ready. Here we go. Number 13. Which German sportswear company's logo is the form stripe? Nike, Adidas, Puma, or Reebok? The form stripe.
Yeah, I don't know the names of any of these, but
Yeah, we know it by visual look at it, but we
Yeah.
didn't know they were given names.
that's true. Definitely by visual.
Nike, I guess, would be the swoosh.
Yeah, definitely not Nike. Puma. Wow. Okay, that's would not have gotten that one. Didn't get it.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Only 3 people got that one right, including Ops Dongoria, Chess Safari, and Brent.
Nice job on that
Robots
one,
with the
everyone.
lead. Tiger Man, TTW Boomsticks, Fire and Or, IDBD, IBDB, Autumn 4. Okay, still got some battles going on. Next question. In what year was the original Sonic the Hedgehog game released? 93, 91, 89, or 95? Did you play Sonic as a kid?
No, I did not actually. I don't know that I've ever played it.
Yeah, the Sega system. I never owned a Sega system.
Yeah, it's can't say that I have either.
Let's see who knows their Sonic. 8 people know Sonic the Hedgehog. Crash had the Sega Master System before the Genesis came out.
Not bad.
Yeah, there was Atari, Sega, Nintendo. Before Xbox and PlayStation, there were all these other ones. Coleco. It's way before.
Yeah, there's a lot of old classic systems now.
All right, next question. Who created the pump FLUDD Mario uses in Super Mario Sunshine? Robert Flood, Nerona, Alvin Gad, or Cygor? Or Krygor? No clue about any of these.
I don't even know. I haven't heard any of these.
I didn't know there was something called the Flood. Who created the pump Flood?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe this is Japanese. I have no clue.
I can't even make a guess. It's just
Elmer Flood would have been a good option, but more people got this right than I thought.
yeah. Actually, plurality got it. That's pretty good.
Wow. Jeff Steelflex, come on, honestly. Jeff, did you know that or was that a guess? Sean, did you know it or was it a guess? So congratulations, top two to ring in there. Warbot keeps his lead. I think Warbot is playing a little cagey now. He's taking zeros.
Yeah.
He's going strategic. He doesn't want a chance on missing a question. He's telling everyone else, you guys catch up to me. I'm not going to fall down to you.
Yeah. Maybe there's a reason he writes the trivia every week instead of doing it.
Which video game earned music composer Mike Moraski the most awards for his work? Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead 2, or Portal 2? Which game with a 2 in it? Love the video game music.
It written down like that. Left 4 Dead 2 looks so strange. Like it's go left 4 then dead 2 or something. Like it's a direction.
Like coordinates.
Yeah.
Charles, shouldn't you be working? Are you on like an extended lunch break? Portal 2, never played it. I heard it was good.
I played Portal 1. I don't know if I played Portal 2. Portal 1 was good. I like that.
With 4 questions to go, here is your leaderboard. Warbot, Pop Stangoria, Rojo, Vancouver. And at the bottom, we have 5 teams under 100,000. Chess Safari, Boomsticks, IBDB, Tigerman, and Fire and Nor. All right, question 17. In Call of Duty Zombies, completing which map's Easter egg will reward you with the achievement Time Travel Will Tell? Moon, Die Rise, Ascension, Shangri-La. Are you a first-person shooter guy?
Not in the slightest. I am terrible at those.
Halo was my game. I loved Halo when it came out.
Yeah. My only experience the first time I played one, I got stuck in the corner and I couldn't figure out how to move. So I just stared at the corner and I couldn't escape from the corner. And that was kind of it.
Oh, I loved Halo because back when I had better reflexes, and you could tell the new players because all they would do in Halo is jump. They'd be walking and jumping, jump, jump, jump to avoid being hit. It was funny to watch.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, 5 people got that one. Shangri-La. All right, question number 18. Oh, college football NCAA loved it. Which one of these games came out first? Factorio, Terraria, Starbound, or Minecraft? Have you heard of these?
Heard of 3 of them. I don't know that I ever actually played them at all, but I have heard of them.
Yeah. OOTP would have been the win. Yeah. OOTP would have been the answer. It's been out for 23 years.
See, my problem wasn't the motion sickness. I literally just couldn't get out of the corner. I was stuck somehow. I don't know.
Do you have a clip of that? Is it on YouTube?
No, I mean I was very young. It's a while, but that really was not a great experience, I have to say.
Terraria is the correct answer there. All right, now getting to the two Canadian-themed questions.
Yeah,
Let's
Minesweeper.
check
I
out
like.
the scores.
Minesweeper is a lot of fun.
Scores still pretty steady at the top, and at the bottom, man, it's a tight race to the bottom between Chess Safari, IDDB, Tiger Fan, and Firenor. All right, question 19. What was the stat line for Dave Steve's pitching debut in his Major League debut June 29th, 1979? What was his stat line? There are your choices.
Now, I noticed you didn't list the hits in the first one. Does that mean he was a no-hitter, or is that not until later?
I guess they didn't show the hits for that one there. Maybe he didn't have any hits. Maybe 0 hits up till that point.
Maybe.
Which one did you go with here?
I did not answer because I have absolutely no idea. Though I probably should because I'm far enough behind that I just need the points.
All right, let's see how many got this one right. His first major league pitching performance, he took the loss, and 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Could be worse.
All right, Sporer high up on that one. Firenor going for the loss, but came up with the win on that question. Same with Tiger Man. So the two battling for the bottom both got it right.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. Well, we've got one more question to go. Here it comes. Which province was not part of Canada's Confederation in 1867? Quebec, Nova Scotia, Ontario, or Manitoba? Yes, Canada started off with 4 provinces. Which of these was not one of the original 4 provinces?
Oh, it's. I guess, and I think I'm probably wrong.
All right, answers are in. No one chose Ontario. Not many chose Quebec. Good decision. It was Manitoba.
Yeah.
They joined 3 years. 3 years later,
sense.
they joined Confederation.
Because they're farther away, right? So they're it's like wouldn't be continuous with the rest of the provinces.
Yeah. I believe the 4th one, Manitoba joined in 1870, Alberta, Saskatchewan, 1905, BC in 1871, PEI 1873, and Newfoundland was the last after World War II. All right, final scores. Congratulations. Warbot takes the first overall position over Pop Stongoria and Rojo Vancouver. And at the bottom, congratulations go to Firenor with a 2,000 worse score than Tiger Man.
Wow.
So
Close race.
We had 11 people in the positives this week. So there you go.
Right,
there is your
bad.
quiz for this week. So Firenor, send me a quick whisper just so I have your perfect team account and know who to send that to. Thank you guys for participating and playing along. And let's just zoom through these cards now. We left off talking about or starting with the pitchers. We've got Clayton Kershaw Immortal, and we've got Jacob deGrom Immortal that came out this week. Again, high-end pitchers, meta pitchers. You're going to play them if you have them. What are some reasonable options for your starters?
Yeah, I mean, so the other high-end pitchers at the moment are kind of Madison Bumgarner and the immortal Sandy Koufax, plus Warren Spahn, but he's a limited card. So one card I actually really do want to mention here, he's a little more expensive, is this Hal Newhouser. This card is actually kind of pretty playable as a starter, even in Perfect League. And he goes towards the Al Kaline mission and the deGrom mission, which is much, much harder than the Cupid Childs mission. So this is a little pricey, but this is a pretty good value. Another one definitely to look at is Oral Hershiser. Best diamond pitcher, costs $30K. Doesn't quite play in perfect league anymore, but he's close. Highly recommend it. If you don't have this, definitely go pick it up. A few other really cheap options is Andy Pettit, who's gotten down to about $15K. For that price, yeah, definitely the best pitcher you'll find there. Hilton Smith actually has gotten pretty cheap now because this mission has been out for a long time. Again, not quite a perfect league meta card at the moment, but still pretty solid. Yeah, other cheaper options, I guess. Similar thing with the Negro League Satchel Paige, because of the Immortal Satchel Paige is a little better. This card has really the price has decreased quite a lot. And then some other cheaper stuff like Carl Hubble. This one's again been around for a long time. It's Mark Burley. I don't know what else is there. There are a lot of options for pitching. You can maybe think about this Bob Carruthers if you want him for tournaments, and the missions are fairly cheap. Not a great card. For tournaments, he's really good, but league is a little questionable.
How about some of those Topps pitchers that came out a while back? Like, was it Max Scherzer and who was he?
Yeah, Scherzer and Greinke are still all right. They're a little bit probably behind some of the other guys, and they're definitely, they're behind Hershiser and Hilton Smith and Satchel Paige, and they're a little more expensive or similar price. So I probably wouldn't go for these, but they're not terrible options.
Okay, and
Greinke's the other one.
Let's just go top 3 meta pitchers right now in a neutral park. DeGrom, Kershaw, and who would be number 3?
For starting pitchers, Bumgarner. If you're just talking about any pitchers overall, it'll be Eric Gagne. But as a reliever, he's not going to pitch as many innings, and it's not as valuable.
Okay. Well, thanks. That helped. Pick out a few of the other cards that can try to obtain at some point. That may last a little bit longer in the game. And let's transition over to. Well, first, let's take a look at the spotlight, because we haven't. No one. I don't think anyone's mentioned the spotlight. If there was one out today.
Yeah, there is, I believe.
So 1 silver plus from Baseball Reference Part 2, Immortal Seasons 4.
I think that should say Baseball Reference 3 Part 2.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul's Picks, and price is $25K. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 perfects, including the 2 future legends from today, the Roger Clemens. We didn't mention Roger. Is he too high priced and not meta, or
he's really not that good? Yeah, not a card I would recommend anyone to go buy.
Okay. So they're Eric Gagne, like you said, best pitcher in the game right now. You have a chance at pulling him. Eckersley, I would imagine, is one of the better relievers that you can use.
Yep, absolutely.
Yogi Berra, another high-end catcher.
Yep. Actually, the Ethan Salas, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I guess, is definitely also a pretty nice pull. Okay.
Well, speaking of today's cards, because there may be some people wondering about these future legends, it's like a hangover when you go on a binge and you have these great cards that come out for a few weeks, like the Immortals. There's always going to be naturally that little bit of a letdown, because you can't have all cards like the Immortals. And, we're starting to see that with some of the more recent sets, last week's set and this set. Not that they're letdowns. It's just that that was a big promotion. It was a big part of OOTP. There was a buildup. There were 4 levels, toppers, all that stuff. So when we get back to kind of our regular sets, we don't see as much blue as we see in those other ones. Well, I'll let you kind of, which cards do you want to focus on that you found kind of interesting today?
Well, actually, the one you got on the screen, this Nolan Shanuel is a nice option. I kind of have this as a pretty solid hitter, even in full silver and certainly in low silver. This is definitely a card that you should think about playing, probably at first base. It's not really good enough in outfield, I don't think. But
right, and he's got the good eye. Charles will like that good eye.
Yeah. If you could switch the power and avoid case, this would be Charles' favorite silver card they've ever printed. But unfortunately, we cannot do that.
And the Festa you wanted to mention as well.
Yeah, this one's kind of interesting. All these flat profiles are always a little bit tricky because when they're flat like this, it's really just a couple points either way make the difference. And I think this one kind of is okay in low silver and probably not in full silver, but it's a different profile than some other cards that play there have.
Okay.
So definitely an option.
Wilmer Flores, high silver.
Yeah, this card actually seems quite good. The trick with this is, can you make it a starter? So I think it's definitely one of the best pitchers in silver, but the stamina is very low. And whether you can make this a starter or not in caps, I think is unclear. Probably you can, especially if you have a decent bullpen. But it's certainly a card that should be on the roster someplace.
Okay. Specifically for silver tournaments.
Yeah, for silver. It might play up into low gold, but not important there. In silver, though, it's quite good.
All right. Next one I think you wanted to talk about is, just working my way up here. Was it this one here? The Wicks? No. This one.
No,
Harry Ford.
Yes, Harry Ford. This is a really, really interesting card. So a lot of time we talk about on the Warbot streams that we like cards where it's not clear whether. Also, this is a tremendous screenshot you took. I will say, given the face that's currently on the screen. But a lot of we talk about cards. We like cards that are kind of it's not clear whether they play or not. And this card very clearly plays. This card is amazing. The problem with this card is it plays everywhere, and where to play it is really interesting and not clear to me. You can do a lot of things with this card. You can run Yasmani Grandal as your only catcher and use this as a backup with Schwarber. You can play this at second. You can play this at left. You can play this at catching. Like, you can play this everywhere. It's very strong. It's just interesting where to find the spot for it. And that's kind of different than a lot of other interesting cards we see.
So what would you test out first if you were using this card? Like, would you train him up? Again, he plays everywhere.
Yeah, my first instinct is I talked about a little bit when Grandal was released last week about this idea of only running one catcher and using Schwarber as a backup. But now that we kind of have two of these guys you can do that with, I think it becomes quite good where you run Grandal as your two-way catcher. I'm probably going to look to play Harry Ford. I think maybe at second base or third base VL. I'm not entirely sure. You could also go in the outfield, but the outfielders are generally better than infielders in gold, I think, at the moment. So that's, I think, what I would do with him, like second base VR, third base VL, backup catcher with Schwarber. But it's tricky. There's a lot of options.
And again, it's got pretty good eye. Yeah, I really like this card too. This is a fun card. This is one of those. Yeah, this is one that you want to get and try out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And they mentioned, as mentioned on stream, in drafts, this is like the best gold card you could possibly get. So if you see this in a draft, just take it and don't think it's amazing.
And yes, I apologize for when I'm grabbing these screenshots. I sometimes I don't check on the facial expression because they go by so quick. So yeah, my deep heart apologies for some of the expressions. And I think when creators do their slides and they have their picture on it, it's they need to format it so they're kind of off to the side a little more. But yeah, no, this is a great card. This is a fun card. I think this one too you wanted to talk about, that was a lower level one, wasn't it, AJ?
Yeah. So this one's another one where it's a little bit worse than Flores, I think, but it also has this low stamina. So this one I think probably ends up in the bullpen. Whereas Flores, I think I'll actually try to make work as a starter, but it's an interesting card because it is a pretty decent pitcher.
All right. Into our diamonds, we have center fielder Max Clark. We see a little bit more blue here. Really good defense, and I think that's going to appeal to some people, some defense and a bat.
Yeah, the defense here is very nice. So I think what's kind of interesting about this card is there's a 1951 Diamond Weekly where this really wants to play. It is kind of exactly the profile you want, with a lot, eye and defense and not as much power and avoid Ks. The The problem is like the stealing and base running gets sort of bad there. So I think this ends up playing probably in center field VR, but it's a different profile than the other cards we have there, which are right now like Adolis Garcia and Eric Davis, which get most of, and I guess Andrew Jones, but he's very limited. But those other cards
Since you have your screen up, Isidafo, I'm curious because other future legends that had a long time playability and many people probably still use them. We've got the James Wood and the Pete Crow Armstrong. Where does this card fit in with those two future legends?
Oh, it's much better than those. So, well, I guess we can look at Armstrong first because he's the same kind of player. So you can see, I mean, if you remember Clark, this defense is very similar, and this bat is not even remotely close to Clark's.
Okay, and how about James Wood?
Wood interests me because Wood has a very differently shaped bat. I think I prefer Clark's profile, especially in center field, to Wood's. But they do different things. So there will be environments probably where Wood is better. The thing is that Wood has kind of been outclassed by cards like, for example, this Kirk Gibson, which is Wood's profile but better. So I don't think Wood is really playing anywhere anymore. But there will be times when shapes like Wood's are better than shapes like Clark's, and vice versa.
Yeah, that James Wood card was very popular for a long time.
Yeah, his price is being held up at this point mostly by this Bryce Harper Targets 2 mission, which is a bit tight. Yeah.
All right, next up, Chase Dollander.
Yeah, I mean, so we've gotten a lot of good diamond starters recently, and I think this one is among them. It's not really still getting to Hershiser's level, but it seems like it's kind of plausibly in the level below that. It is quite splitty, so you do have to protect it a bit, but if you can do that, it'll be good. The VR is quite nice.
Okay, and then we had a couple perfects that came out, starting with the Wyatt Langford.
Yeah, so this is sort of I guess what I'd call kind of a trap card, because you see this card. This card has a ton of blue ratings on it. The problem is it just isn't as good as the other cards at the top level right now. And so there really is very little reason that you should be running out to buy this on release because it will be as expensive as those cards and it's not as good.
Is it mainly because of defense, or is it just both?
Well, the bat is kind of close to good enough, but the bat is not good enough to DH and the defense isn't good enough to play in the field. So it just kind of ends up in aggregate a bit short of kind of these top immortals. If you don't have those and this kind of comes down to, 50K, 100K, then it's probably a card you should think about as kind of one of those sort of mid-tier budget options we were talking about earlier on the stream. But especially at the start when it's going to cost probably $200-300, not a card I would recommend going for.
It's interesting too. He can learn catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, right field. So I know it doesn't show it on here, but when you play him at first base, does he start to get, I forget how that works. Does he start to get first base ratings if you use him in league?
He will eventually. The thing is that really you should only train players if they are kind of by far the best option at their position, because training is so slow and the penalty for training is so big that by the time you finish him, you'll have given away a lot of wins and he'll be surpassed by something else. So it's almost never worth it.
So I don't know if you've modeled him, but in terms of left fielders, just so we kind of have a number in terms of rankings, do you have a number where he is as left fielders, 12th best left fielder, 20th best?
Yeah, in league. So in league, I do everything. I don't really have a combined do everything platoon splits because you can do that a lot more. So I have a number 8 left field VR and number 5 VL. But unfortunately, he's as expensive as the cards that are above him. and that's the reason you
Yeah.
shouldn't get him. Once the
Yeah.
price comes down, then it's kind of fine.
So I agree. It's a really good card. If the price was lower, if you pull him in a pack, you can use him on your team if you don't have those 6 or 7 that are kind of higher than him. So still a really good option if you get him free.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I've been looking at this point, big thanks to Snailman who went and actually did the math on this recently, but the full Immortals mission costs between 3.5 and 4 million, depending on how much you kind of spend extra for the better cards. So if you can get to that number of points, if you can sell stuff to get that number of points, that is almost certainly the best thing to do right now. And then if you can't, you can try to hold to wait for the price to go down or get there. But selling stuff to get to that kind of 3.5, 4 million level is quite strong right now.
Good question by Dogberry here. If you're a new player and you have patience, are there any specific cards you can think of that are worth training if you do happen to get them?
So the 2 cards I would train right now are Joe Sewell at second base and Al Kaline in center field. But those are, of course, very expensive options. For kind of newer players who are on bigger budgets, it probably is slightly better to train. The problem is that when you train, you give up a lot. Like I think probably about every player you're training costs you somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 wins a season. So while you will get long-term benefit in the short term, if you're trading a whole team, you're going to be, kind of killing 20 wins or whatever off of your roster, and that's pretty frustrating. So I really would, generally not recommend it.
I don't know if Trillion means he paid 5 million overall to complete his immortal missions, or what the paid 5 is.
I think so. That's probably more reasonable if you did it as it went along, because obviously whenever the new cards get released, if you're trying to keep up with them, it's going to cost a little more than waiting till the end and doing them all. But you also get the benefit of having the cards. So.
Well, last break coming up. When we get back from the break, we'll look at the last perfect card that was released today. We'll play a little bit of 9-inning baseball with pack opening. We'll ask Isidafo for his card of the set, and we'll ask Spore for his card of the set live in the chat. We'll find out what card interested or that he enjoyed creating the most. So last break coming up here, guys. 2 minutes. Go refresh your beverage.
I was trying to see if I can get through them all before the break. Not quite.
All right, we are here again. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. The break is just about to end. Just going through a little bit of the comments here. 5 million for Trillion to Trillion. At least it wasn't 5 trillion to finish off the Immortals. Cubs fan Steve, only 4 more hours to go. I'm telling you, these modelers, they wear and tear on you. I do not have the stamina I use. I don't know how they could go on for 7 hours. Whew. And pulled the Steve out of a historical rainbow. Do I want another one? I have 4 teams. I have Steve on 3 of them. So yeah, I may reach out to you, Leo. I need one more Dave Steve to have the quadruple factor set. What else do we got going on here? I think that's about it. Oh, Rob Deere and Headlights made a good point here. The effect of training. So he trained Kaline and lost negative 12.9 zone rating because of this. So when Isidafo says there's a cost to training, here's an example of that cost.
Worse. So that's something to consider too. Whether that's true in Perfect Teammate is sort of not clear.
Yeah. All right. Well, here is the last perfect card that came out today. Ethan Salas. What say you?
This is I think this one's actually pretty good. So first off, I mean, I think this is the youngest player that's ever been in Perfect Team. So that's sort of fun.
Oh.
But
even more than Dela Cruz? I thought, wasn't Dela Cruz the youngest?
I think isn't Salas like 17 or something? I mean, he's really Like he's not in the majors yet, but he's very young. So yeah, I mean, at catcher in league, I have this sort of it's a very different shape bat, but sort of similar to Yogi Berra VR, and then slightly better than Berra VL. So consequently, I would probably in most parks prefer this to Berra. The tricky thing in league right now for backup catcher, because Ivan Rodriguez is still the best by a lot, is sort of 3 of the 4 best pitchers are left-handed. And so you will end up facing a lot more lefties, and there Gary Carter becomes also quite interesting because his VL is so strong. So I think Salas ends Berra's time in the meta, but I don't know that he's like the backup catcher. Carter is still an option.
And that's because of again, facing more left-handed pitchers, just the circumstances.
Yes. Yeah. If the meta changes to have more righties, then it will be Salas for sure. And Hartnett is also in there in the mix if you're one of the 4 people who own him, I think it is. So
what do you think of what Dogberry's saying here? How important is I'm assuming that's catcher arm or catcher ability?
Catcher ability, catcher arm, not that valuable. Catcher ability is quite valuable. Now it depends on the era a bit. In some eras, kind of in the 1930s and 40s, catcher ability doesn't do a whole lot because there just aren't enough strikeouts. But in kind of anything close to modern era, catcher ability is probably the single most important rating on any card. Not to say that you should always play the catcher with the most ability, because obviously the bats matter too, and you're willing to give up a few points of ability for a much better bat, but it's a very important rating.
And I think you do, right? If you can afford them both, if you do have them both, you platoon Carter, Pudge.
It really just depends. If you want to play Carter, you're kind of thinking like Rodriguez is a lot better than Carter, even VL. So it really just depends on how much VR you're getting. If you're getting like no righties, then you should just play Rodriguez. If you're getting a more even split and you still want to play Carter, then platooning becomes a more interesting option to try to protect Carter a bit. It just depends on the split, how much you're microing. There's no clear-cut answer.
All right. Well, card of the set. And Spore, feel free to put your card of the set in here. Don't have a fancy slide for it today. Isidafo and myself, I think, are going to agree on the same card just because the interest factor, and that's Harry Ford.
Yeah, this is a really interesting card. Can play in a lot of stuff, even low diamond, all kinds of positions. Yeah. Fun
That
card.
being said, if I could pull any card of these today, when we do our 9-inning challenge, I would think I would want this catcher. I would think that to me would be the most valuable card I could.
Yeah. Salah should certainly have the highest L10 of any of these.
All right. So yeah, Spore, if you're still around, which of the cards did Spore is like, he's the prospect guy. He is, you want to learn about prospects, you talk to Spore. I mean, he's been involved with prospects for a long time, so I'm sure he has a lot of joy and fun making these sets with Future Legends because it's right up his alley and kind of his expertise, I would think. So curious what his card of the set is. So here he says, Ford was yours too, but you'll switch it up and highlight Clark and Shanwell. See if I've got those guys here. Clark. There's Shanwell. You did talk about him, I believe, as a decent low silver.
Yeah, even full silver for Shanwell, I think, is fine.
Full silver? Okay.
Yeah.
And Clark was, remember his rating?
He's a 97, I'm sorry.
Okay, max. Oh, okay. So this was the guy we were comparing to James Wood, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, this is also a pretty interesting card.
And a Detroit Tiger. So that makes sense.
There you go. We should have guessed that one.
That makes sense. All right. Well, it is time for I didn't have a picture of Isidafo, so we're just going with the old slide from Warbot here. And we're going to play our 9-inning game. While we're doing that, let's set up for you guys to try and win some packs here. So What do you want as a code word today?
Ooh, I don't know. What's maybe something to do with the draft, some kind of steals thing, old runner.
Or you know what? Let's celebrate the Texas Rangers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There you go. That is your code word. Put in Rangers in the chat as a word, as a sentence. That will get you entered in. And then we'll make the draw after we have our 9-inning game here. If we pull a perfect or LE, we're going to jump up and down and celebrate and get 7 points. 5 for any diamond card. 4 from any card from today. Gold card is 2 points. And the mystery card number, let's go with Rob Deere and Headlights. Give us a mystery number that we get a point for each one that we pull. Somewhere between 40 and 99. The lower the number, the easier it is. What are you thinking?
Well, Rob Deere himself was a 62, so that could be the one.
Oh, yeah. 62 for Rob Deere. Okay.
Right.
I like it. So if we pull a 62, then we get those a point for each one. Okay. So as I do with Charles, just to make it fair, let me see. There's the code word again, Rangers, for a chance to win 5 packs, 25 entries so far. But as we always do, we like to flip the old virtual coin. What do you think, heads or tails?
Heads.
Calling heads.
So actually, I believe if you flip a real coin, it's slightly more likely whichever side starts up lands up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it is heads, so it's the opposite this time.
All right.
Would you like to be the home team or the visiting team?
Well, I mean, in MLB playoffs, the visiting team seems to win all the time. So I guess I'll be the visiting team.
Okay, so let me get this set up here with my screen. So again, we do it. Each pack represents a half of an inning, and we alternate back and forth between our packs. I'm using my Hound Wheels of Destiny, so I'm hoping to pull some good cards that you guys can add to my team next week. And by the way, we are currently in first place in silver with a 52-43 record. Last week, you guys added Brian Wilson to the team. Doing okay. It's one of the better gold relievers. You added 58 overall Vincent Romo because we had to add an iron. And he's not hurting us. 289 ERA. And we added, I think that was it for pitchers. Yes, for hitters, we added Barry Larkin. That was my choice.
Nice
So I added
deal,
Barry Larkin as a shortstop. I love this PT Plus card. One of the best. This one, and I think the Yelich are the two best that we have for PT Plus.
Yeah, this one is interesting too. And I think the Jerry Pretty was also an interesting one.
Pretty as well. Nelson Cruz we added. He's hitting 259. And we added a new catcher to replace Romo Diaz, who is hitting 211, but not hurting us too much defensively. So, yeah, those are the cards that we're using in this theme team.
Pretty decent
build. Yeah. So our pitchers right now, Perfect Steve, Hershiser, who you mentioned, the limited edition Jenkins, the gold tournament Boom Boom, and the diamond Rick Sutcliffe. So bullpen needs a little bit of work, but yeah, we're doing okay so far.
Yeah, certainly.
All right, you are
starters look good.
I forget who's let me just check who's in our division. Nersha Bank goes there. Okay, a few others. All right. Well, you as the visiting team, you get to open. We're opening 10 or 9 standard
All
packs.
right.
Here we go.
Hopefully,
Top of the first.
set this up okay, so it doesn't show everything. Nothing.
And it is a goose egg.
Andrew Abbott was the same name as the card that was released today, but wrong version of him.
No, don't try the Charles maneuver and try to get bonus points. Come on. All right. Bottom of the first inning. Close to a 62. So
Very
based on
close.
your methodology, I get to get half points because he's close.
Exactly. It's close enough.
All right, top of the second inning.
All right, here we go. Nope. I can't even try to make a case for points this time.
Yeah, 3
It's
dead
nothing.
packs in a row. All right, next up. 52, a 63, a 64, dancing all around it. And I think this is the best card either of us has pulled, and that's a 76 lot.
Yeah, it's not been an inspiring set of packs so far.
Pitcher's duel. Next up.
All right, next one. Oh man,
Not even much. A silver. What was the score in the Rangers game last night?
Well, what did it end up? It was it 5-0? I think. Something like that.
Bottom of the third. Ugh. We go to the top of 4.
All right, next one. Here we go. All right, I think I gotta exit out and go back in. Right, that's the way to get the.
Hey! No copying my strategy. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going out and going back in. And I hate to inform you, but your starting pitcher, Jacob deGrom Immortal, suffered a blister on his finger. He's been pulled from the game.
Oh man,
all right.
That's okay. I'd rather have Kershaw pitching anyway.
Oh no! It's not Kershaw. The only guy that was rested up that's coming in is Eric Plunk.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Hey, we got a point.
There you go. It's a 62. That's as good as we're doing, apparently.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. You got me on the scoreboard. All right, top of the 5th inning. Let's see if it works for you.
Yeah. Nope.
Not 5 innings and not even a silver for you.
Nothing. No silvers. Just terrible.
Okay. We go to the bottom of 5. Next up. Another silver, Benji Molina. That's a pretty good card.
Definitely the best card we've pulled so far.
Yeah.
Definitely the best card we've pulled so far, which is not saying much, but.
Okay, so we go to the top of 6, 1-0 for the Hound.
Okay. I got a silver. All right. I'm getting closer.
I've never seen Isidafo so happy to get a silver.
Got a 370-point silver.
All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th. Man, 61, 63.
Yeah, they're all around and just.
Now we're getting into nervous territories. We go to the top of 7. Eric Plunk's doing well for you.
Yeah, apparently. Nope. Wait, this is a good golf pack. Hold on.
That is.
I got 14 total points. This is a minus 86, right? That's the scoring. That's a pretty good golf pack right there.
The best golf pack we pulled on stream. Congratulations. You just win everything, Isidafo. Come on. You win everything.
Yes, this might be the best golf pack I've ever pulled, actually.
All right. There you go. You can screenshot that one. Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Next up, I hate to tell you this, but Eric Plunk has been taken out of the game. He's worn out. Apparently, you've given the nod to Connie Rector to come in. So Connie Rector is now in the game, bottom of 7. We've had our peanuts and Cracker Jacks. We've had our 7th inning stretch. Here we go. And Connie Rector gives up a run.
Another Penn Murphy. That's the only.
Thank you, Rob Deere and Headlights. So after 7 innings, it is Isidafo 0, lap 2. But all he needs is a gold to tie it up, which is scary.
Just the gold. All right. Here we go.
Woo. Nothing in the 8th. Dave Steve working on a no-hitter.
Yeah, this is I need to do something. Maybe I got to do the opposite. I have to open like a better pack so I get the good stuff in my standard pack.
They show the packs in the corner, Isidafo. Don't you dare trying to open up a diamond. Okay. Connie Rector still in the game. Bottom of 8. On the right screen. I'm on the right screen. Come on, give me another Penn Murphy. Oh, we got a gold.
Oh no. This is not
2
good.
points. Ryan Jeffries. All right.
So I gotta get either.
Don't open it yet. We gotta hype this up. All right. So it's 4-0. Top of 9. A diamond puts you in the lead. A perfect or a LE puts you in the lead. 2 gold ties it up, or 4 62s.
Oops! I opened a rainbow pack by mistake. What a shame. All right.
You've been possessed by Warbot.
Yeah. All right. Oh. An anticlimactic way to end.
Shutout. First time ever with your kidneys, with Charles. I get to shut someone out.
Terrible.
Not a perfect game because you pulled at least 1 silver.
I got 1 silver in 9 packs. That's amazing.
It's a one-hitter.
Yeah.
A one-hit game. That's not a hit even. That's a walk.
I guess. Yeah, it was not good. It was a live silver too, I think. No, it was historical. It was just a really bad one.
So let's see what I got on my last pack here. Another historical silver. And that is it. So 1 gold and 2 Rob Deere specials gets me the win. So you know what that means, right? Do you know what the loser has to do?
Let's open a spotlight.
Yep.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Spotlight 26.
All right. So we want Ethan Salas. Ethan Salas is the card.
No. Ford. Give him a Ford.
All right. Let's see it. Okay.
Oh,
Not bad. Not bad at all. It's a dupe, unfortunately, but not bad. All right. Does anyone need this? I'll sell it to someone if there's someone needs it in here.
What's the lowest buy order right now?
Lowest buy order is 182,000.
So are you willing to go 183?
Sure, why not?
All right, put it for 183. And if anyone in chat is
No,
looking for
I'm only gonna if someone actually needs to buy it. If
anyone wanted in chat for 183, I know, right?
I'll just put it up for L10.
He loses but wins.
Yeah, apparently. I mean that's a pretty good outcome. I wish it were a Salas, but I'll take it.
Man.
All right.
Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, well, it doesn't look like anyone wants it. There were any other good cards there that you pulled, because usually we sell off all the other ones to the chat here. But
I mean, I'm happy to sell those if someone wants them, but they're not going to be very in demand. All right, put it up for 200K. If someone needs it, let me know. Oh, Bailey's thinking about it. Okay, I'll wait.
So it would be what, 183?
Yeah, put up a buy order and I'll sell it.
Yeah, if anyone wants it for 183, Isidafo's willing to sell it. Otherwise, he's just going to sell it at L10. So, yeah, take your time there, Bailey. We're going to do a couple other things. If you decide to, then Isidafo can put it on the shop. We'll give Bailey the first chance because he kind of was the first interested. If not, then Mr. Wrestling will take it. So, Bailey, if you want it, it's yours for 183. Otherwise, it's for Mr. Wrestling.
I can't advertise. I mean, he's not doing so great right now in Diamond. So, but
you tell him after you sell.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Not a good salesman. Here, buy this car. It's got 4 flat tires and it doesn't run, but you'll love it.
Yeah, it's almost this Pryor's doing terribly. That's not good.
So you're in perfect right now?
No, I got Pythagged a bit last week, so
Oh,
went back down to
so how
Diamond.
many Hanks are in your league? Just curious.
Let's see, 4 it looks like.
Oh, okay.
158, 175, 115, 105, all doing pretty decently. It's
And
a
how
pretty
about
good card.
DeGrom?
6 of those.
Oh,
Also, well, this one's not doing so great, but the other ones are doing pretty well, it looks like. Yeah.
all right. Well, Bailey, we'll give you one more minute to decide. If not, then we'll have Isidafo sell it off to Mr. Wrestling. So let us know in the chat, Bailey, if you want it for 183. A little bit of a HAWC special discount, and can't sell it for any less because there's a buy order up for 182. So.
All right, Mr. Wrestling, congratulations.
Congratulations. There you
There you
go.
go.
I would have bought him for my Dave Steeb Super 7 team if I had the points, but another time. All right, well, Isidafo, it has been, thank you so much for filling in. Are you doing any kind of stream tomorrow? Going over the cards?
I think yes. Not sure yet if it will be on Kidney's channel or on the Warbot channel. So stay tuned, I guess. Should be 3 o'clock Eastern, about probably, which is what we usually do. So yeah, take a look, see which channel is live, I guess.
All right. Let's take one final look here. Looks like the rocking chair tournament is over. So let's take a peek. Who won the overall tournament? And I'm curious if they kept their team the same here. So
I'm curious to see actually what the final stolen base success rate was. Yeah, no worries, Mr. Wrestling.
oh yeah, let's check that out now that it's done. Let's dive into our sandbox here. So the winner of the tournament was Huntsville Hounds. I don't know if they were the team that were entered before anyone else got in, because there was one team already in it. Sean, you came second. Congratulations. And I guess the best thing to do would be to go to sortable stats and
Actually,
look at
if you go to a team statistics and info,
okay.
and you go to team batting stats, no, the tab.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. You can see here as a 130 steals, 54 caught stealing.
Wow, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's actually quite good. That's probably positive, actually.
Wow.
Oh, this is the wrong tournament. That is an excellent point. This is the one from Tuesday, it looks like.
Oh. Well, we used the same criteria pretty much. So it was pretty close to the same criteria, except the pitchers had to have even a lower hold pitchers. So
we should expect it to be a little lower than the success rate, I guess, if we allowed the hold runners to go up higher now.
Yeah. So it should be this one, I think. I think it was ID 56. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. Okay, so where we go, sort our team statistics, batting.
Yeah, okay, a little bit worse.
Yeah, a little bit worse because we allowed a little bit more hold runner. So yeah.
Right. Well, looks like hold runners works.
Hold runners works, folks. We're into November and hold runners works.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of already knew that, but this is pretty good confirmation.
I want 10% cut of any kidney sheet information that comes out. I think he's always been big on hold runner.
Yeah, hold runners is a good rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can negotiate with him. I'm guessing he'll be willing to give you a pretty big percentage of his profits on that.
Oh yeah. 10% of 50% of nothing is close to nothing, I think.
Yeah, just about that.
So the Council Bluffs were the team that won it all. So Crash Giants, congratulations on winning the tournament. And O's Bones, congratulations on winning the bounty. Let's take a look at the Bluffs, see if they kept their team intact. Yep. All the hold runners is under 70. And in terms of their hitters, stealing is all above 70. And their stats, Mondesi, Carew, Jeter are their top guys. Overall, 15 stolen bases for Cupid Child. Look at that. He more than double of the second Cupid.
Yeah, that's pretty good. How many? 15? Yeah, that's a good stat line for 10 games.
Look at this guy. Didn't we say he's like the best second baseman out there?
We did. He's quite good. Definitely,
and I can't check the market from here.
Definitely play this card if you own
it. If you get him in a draft, probably you want to draft him. All right. Any closing comments there for you, Isidafo? Anything you want to shout out to the crew here?
No, it was great. Thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed it. And hopefully Charles can come back soon because it's a lot of fun to watch you guys.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if he said he might be on a plane next week, so try not to make any hair appointments for next Thursday, just in case.
All right, I will. I'll try to keep my schedule clear.
Thank you, OOTP Developments, for the raid again. Thank you, V. Trudell, for the follow. For Dogberry, thank you for following, and the couple questions in the chat earlier. Gold D77, thank you for the follows today too. And even though the regular baseball playoffs are over, it's a great day for baseball. You've got OOTP. You can replay the 2023 season till your hearts are content. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And take care, Isidafo. And I look forward to you coming back on or catching some of your streams in the future. We are going to go right into Dr. Dynastic is on. Let me double check here. Not yet. He's not on yet, but
all right,
we will go right into him.
I'm pretty good at stalling. If we need to stall, I've got that one down from the streams with Charles.
Dr. Dynastic, this is not a 7-hour stream like usual. Are you here? Are you going to fire up? Going to be on? What are you thinking?
All right. See, this is now when we usually go on a tangent about like the order of adjectives or something. So
this is where there's a call for marbles. Come on.
Exactly.
Where's the marbles? Yeah, no marbles. But what I will bring up is, we'll bring up yours. I still can't believe you lost the baseball game, but you won with the pack.
I know it's a tough one. It's really, my players just knew they knew that I was going to get a good card of the spotlight pack if I lost, so they just tanked it, and it's like when you tank for a draft pick, right? That's basically what happened.
Yeah. Let me just double check here on the raid. Oops.
Oh, that's true. Do we do the Rangers giveaway?
Oh, Dr. D is fired up. It just didn't show up when I first looked, so he is fired up. But this is the Rangers. Which one is this? Chase Field.
Oh, this is the Chase Field one. Yep.
And again, what I do is I simply go through and I use eligible cards that I currently own. This isn't something I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands to get better cards. It's just, to me, it's not worth it. I just hope I win one round to at least get a silver pack.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't have DeGrom and Kershaw and those guys, you're going to have a hard time winning this. Because
all cards 1999 or later qualify, and there's a lot of good ones. 1999. Do the Future Legends must qualify too? Yeah,
they are eligible. Yes, Ethan Salas should be quite good, though. Ivan Rodriguez is eligible for this format. Langford, I actually don't know if he'll play if with the full team. He might. I'm not sure.
So don't forget, if you did enter this, don't forget to get your lineups in. And again, I just basically went through and picked the highest guys. I did put in Jeff Mathis because he's the best catcher I have for this format right now. And got the James Wood, got the Bautista tournament guy, and it might get me around. I don't know. it might get me around. But as
Yeah,
long
it's
as I
only
don't
1,000
face you.
points if you lose.
Yeah. All right, we are out of here. Again, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So Isidafo, have a good time today. Go treat yourself to some ice cream. Go to the ice cream museum.
Yeah, I gotta get there at some point.
All right. Thanks, guys. We will see you on Saturday, next episode. Rating into Dr. D very shortly. Try this one. There we go. All right.
On the camera? I'm bad at this.
We're still live. We still got a hot mic.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got to go back to my main
That's
screen
fine.
here. Okay, I think we're good. See you next episode.
A very good friend of mine told me something the other day. I'd like to pass it on to you.